Welcome back. Today, we are peeling back the layers on a topic that everyone thinks they understand, but almost nobody actually sees clearly. We're talking about attraction. Not the Hollywood version with the slow motion hair flips, but the gritty, fascinating, and often invisible biological machinery that makes your heart skip a beat before your brain even knows who you're looking at. Why do we feel that sudden spark with one person and absolutely nothing with another, even if they look great on paper?
It's one of those things where we like to think we're in the driver's seat, making conscious, logical choices about who we find appealing. But in reality, our conscious mind is often the last to know. Below the surface, your nervous system is running a high-speed background check. It's analyzing data points you aren't even aware of, things like vocal frequency, micro-movements, and even chemical compatibility. We aren't just looking for a partner, we're scanning for biological signals of safety, vitality, and emotional stability.
That background check idea is wild. So when we walk into a room and feel an instant pull towards someone, what is the very first thing our biology is actually registering? Is it really just the face? Or is there something deeper happening in those first few seconds?
The face is just the billboard. The real story is in the energy or the nervous system state. From an evolutionary standpoint, our ancestors didn't have time for a long chat to see if someone was a threat or a fit. They needed a fast social assessment. The brain looks at posture and facial expressions to see if the person is regulated. If someone is calm and grounded, your nervous system interprets that as safety. If they're twitchy or project a high-stress vibe, your brain might flag them as unstable, which instantly lowers attraction, regardless of how symmetrical their face is.
It's almost like we have this prehistoric radar. And speaking of radar, I've noticed that some people can just start talking and suddenly they're 10 times more attractive. I've heard people say they fell in love with a voice. Is there a biological reason why certain tones just hit differently?
Absolutely. The voice is essentially a direct window into the autonomic nervous system. Think about it. When you're stressed, your throat tightens, your pitch goes up, and your rhythm becomes jagged. But a calm, grounded voice? That signals a regulated system. Biologically, we are wired to find lower, resonant, and steady tones more attractive because they communicate confidence and emotional resilience. It's a signal that says, I am in control of my environment and myself. We don't just hear the words, we feel the stability behind them.
That makes so much sense. It's the difference between someone who sounds like they're running away from a lion and someone who sounds like they're the one the lion is afraid of. But what about the things we can't see or hear at all? I'm talking about scent. It feels a bit taboo to talk about. But how much is our nose running the show?
Probably more than we'd like to admit. While humans aren't as scent-driven as dogs, our olfactory system is plugged directly into the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. There's a lot of fascinating research into how we might subconsciously detect genetic compatibility through scent. It's not about perfume or cologne. It's about the raw biological signature. It's why you can be attracted to the way one person smells and be completely repelled by another, even if they both use the same soap. It's a deep, primal, matchmaking tool that bypasses the rational mind entirely.
So it's a full sensory symphony, sight, sound, and smell all working together. But then there's this X factor we always hear about, confidence. We're told confidence is key, but that feels so vague. Is there a way to define confidence through a biological lens?
In biology, true confidence is really just the absence of a threat response. When someone is genuinely confident, they aren't performing. Their body language is open, their eye contact is steady but not aggressive, and they don't have those micro-stress movements like fidgeting or shrugging their shoulders up to their ears. We are incredibly sensitive to these signals. If I see someone who is comfortable in their own skin, my nervous system thinks this person has resources, they are safe, they are a leader. The irony is that modern culture tries to teach us to fake it, but our biological senses are usually too smart for that. We can smell the underlying stress a mile away.
That's a great point because we see so much performative confidence on social media, people acting dominant or loud. But you're saying that true biological attraction is actually more about being grounded and calm rather than being the loudest person in the room?
Exactly. In fact, exaggerated dominance can often be a turn-off because it signals a lack of security. Deep attraction is rooted in the feeling of being regulated. If you are around someone whose nervous system is calm, yours will actually start to mirror that. It's called co-regulation. We are attracted to people who make our own bodies feel more at ease. That's the real secret. It's not about being a supermodel, it's about being a safe harbor.
I love that. A safe harbor. But let's look at the obstacles. We live in a world that is designed to keep us stressed. We're sleep deprived, staring at blue light, and constantly comparing ourselves to people on apps. How does this chronic modern stress mess with our ability to be attractive and to feel attraction?
It's a huge problem. Chronic stress is an attraction killer. When you're in a fight or flight state, your body deprioritizes everything that isn't immediate survival. Your posture slumps, your voice loses its resonance, and your social engagement system basically shuts down. You become less radiant because your biology is focused on internal defense. This is why things like sleep and recovery are actually beauty secrets. They allow your nervous system to reset so you can actually project that vital, healthy energy that others are biologically programmed to seek out.
It's fascinating to think that a good night's sleep might do more for your dating life than a new outfit. It's like our health is literally leaking out of our pores and into our social interactions. If we're constantly burnt out, we're sending out a system error signal to everyone around us.
Precisely. And it's not just about how we look, it's about how we perceive others. When we are stressed, we are more likely to interpret neutral faces as hostile. We become more guarded and less open to connection. So, the loneliness epidemic we keep hearing about might actually be, in part, a nervous system epidemic. We're too stressed to connect, and we're too stressed to be seen as connectable.
That's a heavy thought. It suggests that the future of human connection might depend more on how we manage our biology than how we swipe on an app. If we're moving toward a world where we're more and more disconnected from our bodies, where does that leave the science of attraction in the next 20 or 30 years?
I think we're going to see a return to the basics. As digital life becomes more filtered and fake, the value of real biological signals presence, eye contact, physical energy is going to skyrocket. We might even start using technology to help us get back in touch with ourselves. You see people wearing trackers for sleep and stress now. Eventually, maybe we'll realize that the best use of that data isn't just for fitness, but for humanity, to know when we are balanced enough to actually show up for another person.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it? Using high-tech gadgets to help us become high-quality primates again. But it makes sense. If attraction is the glue that holds society together, we need to make sure that glue hasn't been dried out by the heat of modern life.
It really comes down to the fact that we are biological creatures living in a digital zoo. Our brains are still looking for the same things they were 50,000 years ago: health, stability, and a partner who won't make our lives more stressful. If you can provide that calm in the storm, you will always be the most attractive person in the room, regardless of what the current fashion trends say.
That's a perfect place to wrap this up. It's a reminder that while we can't control our pheromones or our height, we can control how we take care of our own systems. Attraction isn't just something that happens to us. It's an energy we cultivate by how we live, how we rest, and how we regulate ourselves.
Exactly. It's about becoming the kind of person whose presence is a gift to someone else's nervous system. When you realize that, the whole game changes. You stop worrying about tricks and start focusing on truth. And the truth is, biology never lies.
Well, I'm definitely going to be thinking about my vocal resonance and my stress levels for the rest of the day. This has been an eye-opening look at the invisible forces that pull us together. To everyone listening, maybe put the phone down for a bit, take a deep breath, and let your nervous system catch up with your life. Your biological magnetism might just thank you for it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.